Okay, today we will discuss about algorithms and flowchart. Okay, so till yesterday we discussed about procedural programming and top-down approach, stepwise refinement. Yes. So do you have any confusion or doubts from the previous class? Today I will share the notes. Okay. Today I'll share all the notes that I have in Google Classroom. You'll get it there. Fine. After the class is over. Okay, so we'll start with algorithms now. See, the word algorithm relates to the name of the mathematician Al-Khwarizmi, which means a procedure or a technique. So when we say an algorithm is nothing but it is a procedure, okay, or a technique using which we will solve a particular problem. Fine. So you have been using algorithms even in maths, okay? When you used maths or even in daily lives, we use algorithms, okay? Whenever you are working, whenever you are doing some task, whenever you are trying to solve any problem, okay, we are actually doing some we are actually doing we use some procedures or techniques to do that task, okay, and that procedure is called an algorithm. Fine. So software engineer commonly uses an algorithm for planning and solving the problem. So first, whenever given a problem okay, since we are talking about procedural programming here, so we saw how we show our approach towards the problem. Okay, given a problem, we would try to first perform top-down approach and stepwise refinement. Okay, and after we get a level of sub-modules,
Hello,
which
ma'am.
yes,
Ma'am, can you please repeat the last class?
last
Yes.
Short.
what confusions you have, you do is you will break it down. Okay, the problem is find the average of three numbers. You break it down into two parts. Because you know what the average, what the formula for average is. How do we find the average of n numbers? It is sum of all the n numbers divided by n. Yes, so we know that to calculate the average, we have to first find the sum of the three numbers. Only after that we can find the average. Yes, so given the problem, we break it. First we will find the sum. Only after finding the sum, we will divide it by 3 to get the average. Now again, talking about sum, you further break it down, because to find the sum, we have to first get the three numbers. So we need to have the three numbers and the plus sign, because we have to add. Okay, we have to find the arithmetic operator. We have to use the arithmetic operator and the three numbers using for which we have to find the average. So to find the sum, you have to find the three numbers and the operator plus sign. Okay, so likewise, so once you compute your sum, then you find the average. Okay, so first you will design the top-down approach, how you are going to approach towards solving the problem. Okay, once you design the once you design your problem, we will start with writing the algorithm for the problem. Okay, so here algorithm means simply a procedure. Okay, so a better definition for it is an algorithm is a sequence of steps. So when you are trying to perform some task, you have to follow a sequence of steps, a series of steps. Okay, in a proper sequence, in the correct sequence. ठीक है, तो चाय बनाना है, चाय बनाने के लिए तुम कुछ भी you will not, you have to follow a particular sequence. Okay, you have to first make the utensil ready. You have to get all the ingredients ready, the tea leaves, the sugar, okay, milk if needed. So accordingly, and if you can have other stuffs also, like you can have ginger, you can have ilachi. Okay, accordingly, whichever ingredients you need to make your tea, you will make them ready and you will make the utensil ready. Okay, then you will start making your tea in a proper sequence. तुम लोग उल्टा पुल्टा करके नहीं बनाओगे चाय, है ना? So there's a way of doing every task. So that is what algorithm is. Okay, it is a sequence of steps to solve a particular problem. or algorithm is an ordered set of unambiguous steps that produces a result and terminates in a finite time. So we will try to understand ambiguous, okay, here while we discuss the characteristics of an algorithm. So for now, you have to simply remember that algorithm is a set of well-defined steps. So the steps that you will write to perform an algorithm, for an algorithm, okay, to solve a particular problem, those steps must be very much well-defined. They must be clear. They must be easily understood. Okay, you must easily understand what you are trying to do. Okay, so the steps must be very clear of what you are trying to do with that particular instruction. Okay, and algorithms will always, terminate with an output. If you have an algorithm, it must have an output. So if you are performing any task, कुछ ना कुछ तो output होना ही पड़ेगा. It can have one output, it can have multiple outputs, but it needs to have an output. You cannot have an algorithm without any output. Fine. So we will talk about the characteristics of algorithm. So we have basically 6 characteristics. First is unambiguous. So what is the meaning of ambiguous? Ambiguous means something that is, something that has got multiple meaning. Okay, something that has got multiple meaning, double meaning ho sakta hai, triple meaning ho sakta hai. There can be multiple meanings of one word or one instruction. So that is called ambiguous. Algorithms must not be ambiguous. One instruction must represent only one meaning. ठीक है? If you want to add, suppose you want to add 2 numbers, तो तुम्हें 2 numbers ही add करना पड़ेगा. Suppose you want to add, you are talking about adding 2 numbers, so you have to write one instruction which should clearly state that you want to add 2 numbers and not 2 names. Okay, so it should be ambiguous. Unambiguous. It should be clear. Every step that you write must be clear. One step can have only one meaning. There should not be multiple meanings to a single word. Okay, so just as, for example, just as ambiguous का meaning क्या होता है, जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं play, तो play का meaning बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं. Play मतलब एक theater भी हो सकता है. Play मतलब games, the games that we play, उसको भी हम play बोलते हैं, है ना? खेल को हम लोग, है ना, when we are playing, तो उसको भी हम लोग play बोलते हैं. So just as play has multiple meanings, one word multiple meanings, that means it is ambiguous. So here algorithm cannot have multiple meanings for an instruction. एक instruction लिखा, एक step लिखा, इसका मतलब that should have only one meaning. Fine. Next we have input. So an algorithm can have 0 inputs or it can have many inputs. Okay. Next, output. An algorithm must have at least one output. Okay, an algorithm must have at least one output. However, it can go up to multiple outputs. Fine. And whatever you want to compute from the algorithm, accordingly you must get the desired output. Okay. Next is finiteness. Finiteness means finite. Algorithms must end. If you have started, there's too much of disturbance. I have a pet. So she's not a pet, actually, she's my sister. So some guest has come, that is why she's barking so much. Anyways, okay, talking about finiteness. So when you are doing something, okay, when you are performing some task, it must end somewhere. Okay, it must end. That means if something is ending, that means it has got finite number of steps. Okay, finiteness means your algorithm must terminate after a number of steps. Okay, it cannot have infinite steps. Okay, it cannot continue. It has to stop somewhere so that we get an output of the algorithm. Next is feasibility. Okay, so the algorithm that you design must be feasible. Next we have independent. So independent is regardless, ultimately you see, you have to write your program. Okay, so once you design your algorithm for the problem, then you will start converting it, you will start writing the algorithm. Okay, you will start coding the algorithm using a programming language. And programming language means कोई भी particular तुम language use करोगे, we have many available computer programming languages. So ultimately after you have successfully designed an algorithm, you will be converting it into a code, okay, using some programming language. ठीक है? So when you are designing an algorithm, it should not be dependent on the programming language that you will be using. It should be independent. That means I have designed an algorithm to perform average of 3 numbers. After that, I can write a code using any programming language from that algorithm. I can convert that algorithm into code using any programming language. Suppose I am writing 5 different languages for that particular code. I'm writing 5 different codes using 5 different programming languages for that algorithm. So it should be like that. So it should be independent of any programming language. It should be general. एक algorithm बनाया है, it should be general. It should be, you know, it should be written in such a way that any programming language can use it. Okay. So it should be independent. So once we start looking at the algorithms, then we will understand, okay, I've given many examples. Next, what do we have? We have 3 types of control structures. So whenever you are writing any program, you need to have, we have 3 control structures. Control structures मतलब हम लोग का जो program है, the program that we will be going through, okay, the algorithm that we'll be designing, okay. So there, how the different types of controls that we might come across. First is sequence. Sequence is where your program or your algorithm will execute, one, in a sequence. Okay, so if there are say 10 steps in your algorithm, so it will execute in a sequence. First it will execute the first instruction will be executed, then the second and the third and the fourth. Okay, so depending on the number of statements that you have in your algorithm, it will be executed in a particular sequence. It will be performed in a particular sequence. Okay, one after the other. Branching means selection. That means here selection means we will have some conditions. Okay, we will have some conditions here, and based on the condition, if the condition is found to be true, then whatever is there inside true will be executed. If the condition is found to be false, then whatever is there in the false part, that will be executed. And next we have loop. Loop means repetition. If you want to repeat something again and again, okay, if you want to repeat something again and again, that is called repetition or loop. Okay, so if you have, say, in your algorithm, you have certain steps that you would like to keep on repeating again and again. Okay, so that control is called as repetition. Okay, so these are the 3 control structures in any program or algorithm that you must remember. Okay, this is very important. Next we have advantages of algorithm. It is a stepwise representation of a solution to a given problem, which makes it easy to understand. An algorithm uses a definite procedure. It is not dependent on any programming language, so that it is easy to understand for anyone, even without programming language. So as I said, it should be independent of the programming language. You do not understand programming language, you do not know C programming, but if you look at the algorithm, you will clearly understand what the algorithm is all about. And then you can start learning a programming language, and you can start writing the code using that programming language for that particular algorithm. Okay. Last, we have every step in an algorithm has its own logical sequence, so it is easy to debug. Okay, so it is easy to debug, means it is easy to check for errors if any, because they have every algorithm, be it written in a particular sequence where all the instructions are executed one after the other, or be there some type of jumping. Okay, be there some control structures are there where you are using conditions, and based on the conditions you are jumping, okay, inside the algorithm from one place to another, or be there some repetition. So irrespective of whatever however your algorithm is, it is always easier to debug your algorithm. Okay, now a few points that you have to remember how to write an algorithm. Okay, First is define your algorithm input. So in your algorithm, you may have an input, you may not have an input. That means you can give some data, you can feed some data to your system, or you may not feed. Suppose you simply want to display a message, say welcome to programming in C. You simply want to display a message. For that, you do not have to give any input. Okay, you simply have to write that message so that it gets displayed on the screen. So in such example, you need not have any input, but somewhere suppose you want to have, say you want to add two numbers, so you have to provide those two numbers that you will want to add. Okay, so firstly you always have to define your inputs, if any, for your algorithm. Then you have to define the variables where you will be storing the values. Then you have to outline the algorithm's operations, means you have to specify, you have to specify the operations that you will be performing, okay, for which the algorithm, the basic objective of the algorithm, you have to specify the basic operation that will be performed by the algorithm. And finally you have to output the result of the operation. Okay, so you have to remember these four steps. So any algorithm must contain this, it must contain the inputs, if any, then variables, then you have the operation performed by the algorithm, and finally you have the result. Okay, so here we have examples, we will look at them one by one. See, first is the algorithm to find the sum of two numbers. Okay, so since most of you have learned C++ earlier, also you have had some programming papers while in school, okay, in the 8th standard, 9th standard or whatever, I'm sure you have learned about algorithms and flowcharts. Okay, so every programming starts with an algorithm and flowchart. So whenever you are learning any language, okay, when you are learning of programming, it always starts with an algorithm. So most of you are know about it. So this is how an algorithm looks like. Okay, so first you see here, this is an algorithm to add two numbers. See, if you look at the steps, you automatically will understand what this program is all about, what this algorithm is all about. So first it should start. So I have divided it into steps. This is the perfect way of writing an algorithm. Okay, this is how we write algorithms. We have to mention the step numbers followed by the steps. Okay, so first we start the algorithm. Then what do we have? Because we are to add two numbers, first we have to declare some variables. Okay, variables means where you will be storing your values that you want to add. Okay, so this is just like algebra. So you have done algebra in mathematics, so you know what variables are. We use x, y, z to store values in them. Okay, so here we will be making use of some variables, num1, num2 and sum. So these three are the variables. Let me tell you, I will be adding these two variables, okay, these two values that will be stored in these variables, and the sum that I get, the result that I get, that result will be stored in sum. Okay, so for that I am using three variables here. One will store the number 1, one will store the number 2, and the third will store the result of the addition. Next, in the third step, we will read values. That means we will input the values using the standard keyboard, input device keyboard. Okay, so here for num1, so this is a variable, this does not contain, these are empty now. Okay, so these are like containers, these are empty containers, so you have to place some values inside them. So for num1 you will have to give some number input. For number 2 again you have to give some number as input. Okay, so you have given say two numbers here for number 1 and number 2. So you have given 5 for num1 and you have given 6 for num2. Now, in the next step, we will simply add num1 and num2 and assign the result to a variable sum. So this is what I said. Okay, we will add the values that are stored in num1 and num2, and then whatever result you get, that result will be stored in the third variable, which is sum. So this is what, this is how we will write. This is the expression for the above statement. Okay, so these two will be added and the result will be assigned to, the result will be stored in sum. Okay, and since the result is stored in sum, so you want to display the sum now. So finally we will display the sum, that is, this is the output, and then we will stop. Okay, we have not used any programming language here, we have not done anything. This is just the general description of how to add two numbers. Is it clear? Is this example clear? Any doubt? So as I said, algorithms must always have a algorithms must always have finite steps. I have 6 steps, so it will end in the 6th step. Okay, algorithms must always have a proper they must always have well-defined steps. Well-defined steps means if you go through each step, you can clearly understand. Anybody who does not have any knowledge about programming, but if I give him or her this particular algorithm, he or she can easily understand what I have written using this algorithm. That means your steps must be very much clear and understood. Okay, so it should be very much clear and well defined. It should be finite. Here, because we are to add two numbers, that is why we will have inputs. So we have declared inputs. Because this particular algorithm will, every algorithm has to provide some, has to generate some output. In our example, the sum is our output. So therefore, I have, displayed the output here. So this is what I have been speaking. Okay.